Well, face reveal is here. This is my face. You can zoom in on it if you want. Not like crazy, but don't go crazy with it. But yeah, there you go. There's my face. Let's end the video there. Let's just be done. No. So I'm just gonna, I guess, break down the video, but I'm not gonna go in any specific order, but I'm just gonna tell it from how I feel like it. So I'm gonna start with the dam, that one where I freaking bombed that giant beast into the water. Well, I'm just gonna start there. So I'd seen that thing since I was a kid, and I always thought it was like an impossible thing. I never actually went there to see if there was water. Like, I just saw it from the road and was like, oh wow, that's insane. I thought it just was a drop off into rocks or something. I didn't know what it was, but when I finally went and scoped it out, I saw it was actually doable. So I just one day just decided I was going to do it. I had a filmer who was going to do it, and he bailed on me, so I was like, I just called one of my friends from church, and I was like, hey dude, sorry if you're like to throw this on you or whatever, but you want to help me film? And he's like, I'll be there in 3 minutes. I'm like, oh, cool. So he went and helped me do it, and I just told him he had one rule, was not to stop. Just don't stop recording until I tell him to stop. And first off, before we got there, I didn't use my Jalakay Games board. I went and stole my little brother's. I sold to him because he uses a different one that's just a piece of crap, and he likes it being slow, and he said the other one's too fast. I'm like, whatever, dude. So I just snuck in, took the board. I used like work pants that I was gonna throw away. They had like a big hole in the back of the pants, and I was like, everything I had, I'm like, I don't care if I lose any of this or it gets destroyed. I'm just whatever. So we get there, and I've been having anxiety for weeks and weeks. Just I knew that it had to be done, and so I've been pushing it off for so long. I was just way scared to even try it. So I get there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I really gonna try this today? So to the side of it, it's just this little mountain path thing. It's not a path, but it's just I hike up the hill, and I come behind it, and it was like, it took me like 5 minutes to actually get to the part to bomb the dam. Little do you know, it's like a 15-foot barrier that they blocked off behind it so that you can't get to it from the top. So I was like, how do I get up this? This is like huge. So I just kind of balanced my board up on one of the ledges, and then I kind of parkoured my way up. Like, I had to jump from one, because it like cornered off, and so I jumped on one side of the corner to the other and just threw myself up on the top. And it was this really smooth, like rounded top, so it was really hard to even grab it. So you'll see, like, it was super awkward for me to get over it. So yeah, it was a challenge just getting there. I almost just swam and went the other way. This guy just didn't know what to do. But I finally got over, and I don't know, I'm sure you can tell from the video, it was way too risky just bombing that from the top. It was just not doable for me. It was too much risk. I didn't even know how deep the water was. I'm like, beats me, there could be rocks down there, I don't know. So like, I started from like about halfway, and that's when I lost my board. I was just going way too fast, so I lost my board. I dove down and got it. Then I went down a little bit further, then actually bombed it. And I actually wanted to try it again because it wasn't as bad as I thought. Even though like I tumbled, I could have hit my head, but it was a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. So I didn't show this, but I actually lost my board in the water. So it took me like 5 minutes or so in just freezing cold water, and like it was really hard to swim with like full clothes. So it took me forever to just constantly looking for it. And so I eventually found it. Like I almost gave up, and I felt it move. Just like I kicked it, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I had to just keep diving down. I couldn't see anything. I tried looking in the water. I just couldn't see anything. So I just had to dive down and just kind of feel for it. Finally found it, and I wanted to try it again, and it was such a journey finding the board. I'm like, I'm never gonna find it again. I'm not gonna try it again. I'm gonna come out a winner and not hurt myself trying it again. So I doggy paddled my way back and jumped the little fence and was done with it. And this little kid across the street, I guess he's not little, he's probably like 14, I'd say. He's like, dude, did you freaking bomb that thing? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, sort of. Yeah, I did. And so I forgot to bring a towel, and he went and brought me one. It was super cool of him. I said, dude, like, I'm going to do a behind the scenes thing. Like, do you want to be part of the video? And he's like, no. But that was cool. And he walked away, like, after I dried myself off and gave it to him. Like, okay. But, yeah, it was cool of that little kid to do that, though. Then, let's see, I was completely unprepared for that part. I didn't have change of shoes. I didn't have change of pants. Nothing. I mean, I just went home soaking wet. Like, just have to drive soaking wet. That really sucked. But that was pretty much that part. I mean, my anxiety was gone after it was just over. I'm like, I don't ever have to worry about that stupid thing again. And of course I forgot a part on the dam. So that part where I was sliding down the dam, I had actually burned my arm. Like it didn't feel like anything when I was up there. And I also forgot to mention, it's so slick. Like it's just straight down, it's super slick, so it doesn't give at all. It's just so slippery. I mean, you could see I was just sliding immediately down that thing with just my body, which is crazy. But yeah, I had like a crazy burn on. I don't even know if I still have it. It's a little bit of a something. It's not much anymore. It's pretty much gone. But like it hurt so bad the next day. The next thing was the part where I was just trying to ollie over like those rocks. It was like the gap from like the sidewalk to the driveway. So I had actually been doing that gap since I was a kid. Well, I guess not a kid, but you know, like 15, 16 years old. I was doing that gap, and it was, I mean, I was kick flipping that thing. I was backside flipping that thing, like pop shove it, 180s. I think I did 360 flip it once. And it's, for whatever reason, I was just terrified of it. I mean, I just was in my head so much, I just couldn't do it. And so, I mean, sadly, my filmer, Brandon, didn't get the first slam, but I mean,
You had a nice soft cushion right there.
I was falling backwards and I just hit my head so hard on the grass, and if it was concrete I would have died. I mean, there's no way I would have lived through that. But I just smacked my head so hard on the grass, and he didn't get it. So then I was like, dude, you didn't get it? I mean, if I'm going to slam, you got to get it, bro. So he then got the other angle where I went and tumbled. And really the only reason I kept landing so bad was because I'd commit until I got there, and I would just not commit at all. And that's the most dangerous thing you can do, is when you get scared is when everything goes wrong. So that's when the board would just turn sideways because I was just scared and would kind of kick it out or land awkward. But, and it was weird, it's like right as I was doing it, I wouldn't commit, and then as I landed I'd commit, which was a terrible mix there. But yeah, I took a lot of slams, and then I tried pop shoving the gap. I tried it several times, and it just came to the point where I just gave up. I was like, it's not gonna happen. There's no way. I'm just not as confident as I used to be at skating when I was a kid. I just, I lived at home. If I got hurt, it was fine. It didn't matter because, if I get hurt, my parents pay for it. My parents, I don't have work, so it's just all of that is in my mind when I'm skating now. Is like, you can't try anything stupid because if something goes wrong, you're screwed. So I was just in my head too much. I used to destroy that gap though. It's really a shame I don't have any footage of me doing it from when I was younger. I just overall had way more confidence when I was a kid. And I was skating like 8 hours or more a day. I did that for like 3 years. So, you build your confidence by doing it so much. But nowadays I skate like not even once a month. It's just whenever I feel like it. It's usually not very often. I think that was all for that part. I mean, I probably should have talked about this part first, but when I was up on that water tank, I'll show it here, but like it was just so hot. It was like 110 degrees. I didn't bring water, and the surface was like, it's like higher up, and it was like reflective, so it's just like you were just absorbing this, like just the heat, I guess. And I was up there just for 2 hours without stopping. I just over and over and over tried it, just countless times, and for 2 hours just kept trying. And I landed that because the first part wasn't that bad. It was a little bit cooler. I did that pop shove it revert thing, and then it was when I went into by the way, that 360 flip I did at the beginning of the video is not a 360 flip. That's why I slow mode and like zoomed in. My front foot does nothing. It's just like a pop shove it. It just goes up in the air and it catches. That's all it did. And so my back foot, I quarter of a shove it, and then close to a half a shove it, and then my back foot would catch it and it threw it. But I did it so clean it looked like it was a 360 flip, but it's for sure not. I didn't even mention this. I had to bring a broom because some idiot smashed his freaking... I keep saying freaking, whatever. They just smashed a toilet on the freaking water tank. Oh, okay, and there was just rocks everywhere. So we were just sitting there brooming for a while. And then there'd be so many times I'd like almost like about to do the trick, and then I hit a rock and I just started swearing up a storm on these stupid rocks and these little debris. I was just so angry because every time it was just like, it just takes so much out of me to have to go run after my board and just hitting these stupid pebbles over and over. Like it was impossible to get all of them. It was so frustrating. There was so much to that stupid water tank that just, for 2 tricks of like, just, 7 seconds, like maybe 12 seconds, for 2 hours of torture and have heat exhaustion. Well, next part, Jeremy almost just broke my freaking...
I didn't though.
He was scooting back, and I have like I guess, what do you call it? Like my TV stand has a bottom part and it's just straight glass, and he accidentally went and sat on it, and like, oh shoot! Yeah, you could have just that could have been bad. Just glass everywhere. That would have been funny though. I would have laughed. I paid like $10 for that thing. So
I would have cried. So.
You would have cried. Anyway, so then after we did the gap, and after that I was like, okay, we need to just go get some food. So we went to Chili's, went and got some food, and food wasn't all that great. And I didn't want to eat too much, especially because like when I was doing the tricks, like it was like 2 hours on that water tank straight, without stopping, no water, just back and forth, just not stopping, and could hardly breathe. That freaking bandana was on so tight, I just couldn't breathe. So, and then on the second part, doing that for a while, it's just like I was just depleted. But I didn't want to eat too much because we were still going to skate, and I kind of felt sick just eating it all, but I don't know, the food wasn't that great anyway. It was just bleh. So we went and got food. Then we went to the Arby's parking lot, and I was skating right in their drive-through. I mean, I was just right on that little sidewalk right in their drive-through. So we're going back and forth, and I immediately, like, before we even got there, I kept saying, we're gonna get kicked out. Like, we're gonna have the cops come. This is just, oh, it's not gonna be good. But we just kept doing it, and we were just being respectful. When cars were coming in and out, we just would get out of their way and just go when it was convenient. But I started going, and then the lady working there just like, opens the window and just like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, just skating. She's like, are you like doing this for like why are you doing this? I'm like, oh, I'm doing it for a YouTube channel, and showed her like my board. I'm like, that's the YouTube channel, and yeah, we're just skating here. So she's like, oh, mind if I watch? I'm like, go ahead. The whole time I was thinking people were gonna call the cops. I'm wearing this bandana and I'm just going through the city, looking like a thug, but nobody said anything. I mean, everybody actually, like, people driving by would just park and watch, or, that everyone just kind of watched, if anything. So people just don't do interesting things around there, I guess. But yeah, this lady at the Arby's just watched, and it was cool. And so while I was there, I was like, I saw that there was a sidewalk to the, what's it called, the asphalt gap, and I'm like, oh, wait. I mean, it wasn't a very big gap, but again, with my confidence, it was like, yeah, I can do that, and I know it's not very impressive, and back in the day I probably could have kickflipped that thing, but whatever, I'm going to do it. And the biggest challenge was just that you have to clear the gap, like the grass, the curb, and then you have to clear that the sidewalk, because there was that crack that I hit that you saw in the video. I just landed right in the crack and just flew. It just stopped me immediately. So I had to clear everything. That one wasn't too bad, but it still was hard doing all of this after
You are a man!
my whole thing with the water tank and that other gap. So I eventually got that a few times. You got it the first time, I just didn't like the angle, so we did it from the second angle, but that one wasn't too bad. But yeah, falling on my face, I got a big old like rash on my butt. It was great. It was, yeah, when I came home, I was so sore. I mean, my entire body the next day was, I couldn't put my hands like this high. It just hurt too bad. I couldn't put my hands over my head. To walk, everything ached so bad. I took like 4 hard falls in one day and was skating for like, I think 7 hours total. It was just abuse. It was just complete abuse. So then after that day, I was just depleted. I went to sleep. We went home, relaxed, went to sleep, and we went at it again the next day. And it was not a very long day. It was like, I think at most an hour. We saw this. There was this one spot I always wanted to try, and but it's in the middle. Like, you have to go through an intersection to get to it, and it's a pretty busy intersection. They also had construction going on. It was just, I wanted to get that trick so bad, and I intended on going back to it, but after all the slams and everything, I just kind of stuck to skate parks. Just, it's a little safer, and I was just trying to just get through the video at that point. I wanted to be a lot more ambitious on locations as far as where I was skating, but it just got to the point where I'm like, I'll just step it up as much as I can on the skating part, and just the location is not going to matter as much. But I kept trying to backside flip this. It was like, it's almost like a speed bump that had no business being on the sidewalk. So it just made it for a great thing to launch off of. But I mean, just people are just so dumb. I mean, it's just like, it's like the same concept where when you're trying to turn left, everyone's just speeding so that you can't go, and then the very last guy goes so slow to the point where the traffic comes and you can't go again. And if that one guy would have gone fast, you could have made it easily. It's like the same concept.
I'm gonna call this intersection the four-way fable.
Oh my gosh, did you see how long she stopped for?
This guy's still stopped. What about this guy? See how long it takes him to realize that it's clear.
Oh my gosh, I had an opening.
What about this lady? Not too shabby. That's about how you would expect. This lady gonna do the thing?
Gosh.
Holy
We have
cow!
3 champions in a row.
Christmas miracle.
It's a miracle.
Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown. This freaking four-way stop has like some sort of like magical retard aura to it that makes people want to stop for at least 15 minutes before they go.
Everybody else rolling stopped here.
Ah, frick. Look at this guy. See how long it takes this guy to go. Let me just scratch my butt. Oh, I gotta make a cup of tea. Oh, let me stick. Oh, I gotta send my email. Okay, we're good. Oh my gosh. Frick.
Okay, it's gonna another 10 minutes before we try again.
That guy actually went.
But I was doing this impossible over and over, and I was actually landing it like consistently, but I just needed to land it going faster. Like I would land, I'd be going pretty decently fast, do the impossible, and I'd land just dead. Like it just wouldn't roll away. And I just wanted to roll away so bad, and so even though I was landing it clean, I just kept going and going, and one of the times I landed wrong. Like I landed way too far, like when the board was way too far forward, and I ended up just rolling my ankle super bad. Like it's kind of hard to see or tell in the video, but it hurt so bad, and it hurt for days later, and that really took a toll on me too. Like I just couldn't step up. I actually had to wear an ankle brace after that. That's what I had to do. And here comes Jeremy.
Hi.
So Jeremy helped, do all of this interview, and also a bunch of shots for the ending, a lot of the ending scenes.
Basically anything that's cool is me.
Pretty much. Other than maybe the salt flats.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I was not there, I'll admit that.
But he helped with, the first thing we did is that part where it shows it's like that factory. We drove way too far from where we were intentionally supposed to go. We went like 3 exits, and the third exit was like 12 miles till the next exit.
It just kept getting worse because Google Maps kept telling us, turn back now, turn back now.
Yeah.
We kept missing like 3 times, and it's like, okay, you have to go like 12 miles to get back to the original exit. We're like, oh, great.
Yeah, because we were just in a conversation. I just didn't care to like think about turning off, and I really wasn't in any like rush because I was like, we're exploring anyway. It didn't really matter. So we went. I see this factory from a distance. I'm like, I don't know if that's really The Last of Us. Like that's I don't know, but it looks cool and I want it. So we went and got that one, and then we were like, okay, let's set a GPS to the actual location we were wanting to go, and so we were going, and we were like, we see this water tower just in the distance, like you could barely see it, but it looked crazy. We're like,
super cool.
We're like, okay, we need to see what that is. So we park, and we go, and we're following this trail to go there, and it just ends. It's just a freaking river. We're like, why is there just a river where this trail is? Because it continued.
It was like a main trail that cars had driven through, and there's just a river through it.
Yeah.
We're like, what?
Like a pretty decently deep river. Like, this is stupid. So we went and saw that there was like a bridge, which we did get a shot of that too. That was pretty cool. I liked that shot. So I had like so there was that weird bridge thing. And so then we went and followed this trail up further, and we really had like no idea like where this trail was going to lead us. And first off, it was so steep. Like the first while was just straight up. So we're just hiking up this beast of a trail, and we go and we start seeing this barbed wire fence. We're like, oh shoot, and it had been cut down completely. We're like, well, convenient. That's way too convenient. So we kept going, and we kept following it up. It was like what, 1 or 2 miles.
Yeah, it was a decent hike. I mean, it wasn't
crazy,
but it was
it was decent.
It was definitely more than we expected. Like looking at it from the road.
Yeah, we were like, when are we ever gonna get to this thing? And so finally we got like to a point where like, okay, like it's a pretty close distance now. Like we can see it. It's bigger. We're getting close. So we get there, and then it's just barbed wire fence. I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? And we were thinking like, well, what can we do? And so I just insisted, let's just see where the trail takes us, because it's already been a bro so far. So we go a little bit further, and suddenly it was like broken, but you could not do it by yourself. You needed someone to like lift. Like there was like a piece of plywood you had to like lift it to have someone crawl through, which I wish we would have filmed, because that's totally Last of Us. Like, here, like, get this, Ellie. Okay, now let me through. It was totally the Last of Us. Like,
does that make me Ellie?
Yeah, dude. First year, I'll be Joel.
Okay.
I got the beard more. so anyway, so yeah, we had like, it was really crazy, because it was like, like lift it, put the camera gear over, now grab it, okay, now slide under, okay, now I'll take it over. It was really creative. We had to be pretty creative to get our stuff through it, but that was a cool experience, just getting through that barbed wire fence. And then you had the genius idea of just, hey, I'm just going to video from here, you just walk. And I used it, and it was perfect. It was exactly like that. That was awesome. I love that shot. So, and we ended up using 2 of those shots, which I'm just glad you insisted on taking those shots. So we get to the water tower, and it's just it looks awesome. It's just a big rust bucket, and
yeah, looked like it was gonna fall apart at any moment.
Yeah, and it was windy, so windy. So we get the shot, and then that's when you got that crazy shot of the ladder to the clouds. That was a crazy shot. And so I climbed up it, and I almost got to the top, and I really wanted to see what was up there, but I was like, I might fall through. This thing looks so not stable. Who knows how long this thing has been there.
It was crazy windy too.
Oh, and it was so windy. Like,
getting blown
I was getting like blown. That's why I was like, walking up is so funny. It was just. Our main shot that we were trying to get was this abandoned mine, and it looked like it reminded me of the coal mine from The Last of Us. Like, it was just this abandoned mine. I wanted it in our shot so bad. We're coming to the road, and there's a cop there. I'm like, great, of course there's a cop there. And then we go, and it's freaking Siri says to take a sharp right turn. So I did. There was like 2 roads. So I took the sharp right turn and went to the middle, and it's like my car barely fit that trail. Like, it was no room on either side. It was just straight. And then suddenly it just turned into this weird railroad track, but it wasn't even a railroad track. It was just wood.
Like old railroad tracks that had lost like the railroad ties. It was just the wood there, and it was just a steep cliff on either side. And we're like, what do we do now? Because we can't keep going.
And we can't turn around.
We have to go back.
And there's a cliff on both sides. Just like and so I have to back up like what? At least 300 yards. Like at least. It was a solid like.
I was scared we were gonna flip the car.
I thought we were gonna die, dude.
If you went right off that, we would have flipped for sure.
We would have flipped, and there's a good possibility we would have died. Luckily, we had 2 cops right there that had us.
Yeah, they would have known.
They would have been like, oh hey, those guys rolled off the thing. And so yeah, so I have to, and mind you, I am terrible at backing up, just absolutely terrible. And I'm just like, okay, I've got legitimately 2 inches on both sides that I have to work with. And I've got to freaking back up 300 yards with cliffs on both sides. I'm like, Well, let's just pray. You kind of guided me. You're like, dude, okay, you're going way to the right. Like, way to the right. You need to, wait, you're going to fall off if you go
I was
any
looking at
further.
it nervous we were going to die. I'm like, I don't want to fall off.
I really insisted. I almost thought, like, I should stop and have you drive. But I was just like, whatever, I'll just get... Whatever happens,
We made
happens.
it, we
I
survived.
put Jeremy's life at risk. So then after that, we went and got the university shots, and those were pretty cool. That was perfect lighting. Just the sunset was just perfect.
Timing.
It was so good. Oh man, that was... And in case I got a comment from Mr. Void that he said, how is this a TLOU video? Just putting it out there. I don't know how it's not a Last of Us video. You have all the cosmetics, as many locations as we could find. We had the water tower, we had Capitol, we had University, we had Bus Depot, which is Salt Lake, which we actually went to the actual location in the game. Yeah, there was the dam in two ways. The one I actually went down, and then the one that was behind me that kind of looked more like the one in the game, in my opinion. And it wasn't exactly like me trying to mimic The Last of Us. It's like, it's a skate park, but it is a theme of The Last of Us. Like, obviously it's not The Last of Us. I'm not in a game. That'd be cool, but I'm not. So, sorry Void for, like, calling you out, but... This part is, like, the biggest part of this whole thing, in my opinion. So, when we were going to do the Salt Flats shot, it was like a 2-hour drive. And I was with my friend Grayson he was gonna film it. And so we're going, and it was like the same thing with Jeremy where it was like, we were just like in a conversation and I just wasn't really paying attention. And I was a freaking idiot. And I didn't, like, my fuel went from a quarter of a tank and it just dropped. I'm like, okay, we're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we looked it up, and it was like, gas station, 30 minutes this way, 30 minutes that way. And I'm just like, oh, jeez. So I was like, dude, I just pray we make it. Like, and so we got, like, we didn't know exactly how close it was. Like, we knew we were close, but... Yeah, I legit ran out of fuel. Just going 90 and suddenly my car just starts bogging down. I'm like, we almost made it. So, you know, we pull over, put my hazard on, and I call the police because I didn't know who to call. I'm like, hey, we ran out of fuel. Can you direct us to somebody who can help us out? And he's like, yeah, let me get you... company to call you. So AAA what am I even saying? AAA called us, and the person was just super short with us on the phone, and he was just like, "It's gonna be $150." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Do you want it or not?" And we're like, "Well, yeah, dude. Like, what other option do we have? Are you kidding me?" So, like, okay, I'll be 45 minutes. So I was like, dude, I am so sorry. Like, my friend was in a hurry to be somewhere, and it totally, like, he had to call him and cancel. I'm like, I'm so sorry, dude. That was my bad. And so the AAA guy was there in less than 5 minutes. I'm like, what was this 45 minutes talk? So he gets there, and he was a nice guy, the guy that actually showed up. He was just like, I don't care what they said. It's just going to be $100. I'm like, oh, cool. And he literally puts a gallon of fuel in it. And I'm like, what was $100 for, bro? Like, what? You're gonna put a gallon of fuel in it? He's like, yeah, that should get you to the gas station. And I'm like, what? And so I was like, were we really that close? And so he's like, yeah, and I'll follow you there just to make sure you make it. Don't worry. Like, we'll make sure you get there. It's like, that's freaking ridiculous. So I get to the gas station, like, we made it, and it was like almost $5 a gallon, which where I live. It's like what, $3 or less?
It's like 280 or something.
280?
Average, yeah.
Yeah. So more than double what I'm used to paying. So it was like over $100 to fill up my tank. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. They got you they just got you trapped there. So that was a pretty funny experience. That was pretty cool, I guess. So we get to the salt flats, and we wanted to see if it was skatable, and we wanted to skate where they have the actual runway, where they have like the fastest cars in the whole world, like test drive, or try to get the fastest miles per hour because it's the flattest and like smoothest place on earth. So that's like where people go to test the fastest cars. Pretty cool. We got the best snow and we've got the best salt. Can you believe that, Jeremy? so anyway, so we get there and they're currently racing the fastest cars there that day. I'm like, dude. So we couldn't do it, and this Australian guy's there, and you know he's telling us that because we get there and he's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be $25. I'm like, are we able to like actually? Can we film here? And he's like, oh yeah, just like, you know, the runway's over there and it starts there or it ends there, and if you have a good camera. I'm like, no, we're doing our own thing. We're just wanting to skate over there somewhere. Like, how far does it go? Oh, well, you got the whole salt flats, buddy. Go anywhere else. And I'm like, yeah, but everyone else, it's like actual just salt, like not compacted and smoothed out. So we're like, so he's like, okay. And so as we're like going to find a place, this car just comes flying. I mean, it was going faster than the speed of sound easily. I mean, it was a rocket car. That thing was just, he was going and the sound was so far over, and it just sounded like a big boom. It was like a rocket ship was going off. It was insane. So, like, that's pretty cool. I mean, at least we kind of get to see that. That's pretty cool. So we go and, you know, we're skating. Or like I'm trying to, well, first we did the cosmetic part, and then the salt was like kind of wet a little bit, and it ended up getting caked all over my board as I was doing the tricks. And by the time I was done, the board was done. It was gone. I mean, it's unskateable. That board is unskateable now. At least it was the last shot of the video. Thank heavens, because it's like there's salt all up in the bearings, all up in just the trucks and everything, and like the way that it was and how wet it was, it ended up like dampening the board, and it's just unusable. Just completely thrashed it. So that was a way to end a video.
Alright, tell me.
So if you want to see what the salt flats did to my board, I mean, it's just, I mean, I might have over-exaggerated, but it was wet when it was like this. But, I mean, the bottom's kind of hard to tell. It's the freaking grip tape. Oh, like, there's salt all over my hand. Like, it's absurd. Just how much salt's actually on this thing. So, you can see I wasn't kidding. I mean, I wasn't lying. I was kidding. Alright, that should be it. For whatever reason, I felt like I wanted to, like, be one of the characters from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater choosing your character scene.
Let me get a better thing of that. Yeah, wait, turn the board more towards me. Alright, now start to turn around. You look like you're posing for school photos, dude. Actually, like look all natural, like. Do that again, do that again. But actually, like, start walking towards me. Like, act like a cool dude. Yeah, there you go. Cool dude.
There you go. More action like that.
Yeah, F the police.
Yeah, like that. That was
F
so
the police.
Cool. That's so funny.
Dude, you're moving just like someone would in a video game.
I know.
You look just like the Tony Hawk menu. Like, choose your game mode. Oh my gosh. Alright, don't look at me though. Like, can I look off in the distance and then do it?
I'm ready.
Okay, go. And then do the shoulder teabag.
Shoulder teabag?
Yeah, get down and do the shoulder sway. Now do the do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ruin your nice pants. Do it!
Yeah.
It's for the video! It's for the video! Dude, it looks exactly like that. Oh my gosh.
Fuck. I'm down.
I'm down. F, I'm down.
Get your ass over here and help me out. Put down over here. Hurry up. I don't have much time. Oh. Thanks for saving my ass. Alright, now for the Q&A part, we'll have Jeremy read them.
Alright, so first off we have from the Starks. He asks, when will you be coming to Canada to meet good old me?
Well, I might be going to Canada. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go to Canada. So depending on where you live in Canada, maybe.
Alright, so Paul Muller asks, favorite male and female game character?
If not The Last of Us, it's gonna be Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, for sure. And Link from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, for sure. I'm just going to get this one over with. It's from Kieran. Are you ever going to use a sidearm that takes skill again? Are you ever going to take your hobby Fortnite to the competitive level? Are you going to release an album one day? Wink, wink. Okay, whatever, Kieran. I used a revolver with my bow, so whatever. And release an album. I'm going to be releasing 2 albums in the near future. But I guess not near. As near as I can get. But 2 albums.
Alright, so Alex Nadine says, if you had a pet dinosaur, what name would you give it?
If I had to name a dinosaur, I would name it Michael John. Kieran, I'm just reading yours, man. Will you ever go pro in Fortnite Battle Royale? No. Is your last name Games or are you lying to us? I'm lying to you. Why can't I come up with questions? Because you suck. And you're Mr. Back.
Courtney asks, have you ever had a crush on a video game character? And what was the very first game you played?
Yeah, I've had many video game crushes, I guess. But, I mean, I'm just gonna go with Beyond Two Souls, Ellen Page, baby. Because I've always had a crush on Ellen Page, so that's an easy one to get out of the way. And then the other question was the first game I ever played. From what I can remember, it was either Tony Hawk Pro Skater or it was Super Mario World. Somewhere in that realm is what I remember.
Stephanie Rodriguez wants to know, have you ever been married?
Yes, and it sucked, but I'm way happier. I'm way happier now, and I'm okay talking about it, and I'm way better now, so it's all good.
Our next question is from Stephanie Rodriguez, and she wants to know, how tall are you?
5'10".
Is that it? Killer Monkey 042 has asked, if you could choose anywhere to live, where would you live and why?
I would want to live here, and because all my family's here and all my friends are here, and it's a great place to live. Everyone's really friendly. You know, you have the mountains, you have like snow, you have all these crazy places so close by that everyone just takes for granted. But if I had to live somewhere that wasn't here, I'd live in Switzerland, for sure. And I think mostly because it's very close to here, like the way it looks, except it's even prettier. And their government's pretty chill. It's pretty cool over there. And it's cold. Chill, cold, whatever. And then also, one of my favorite skaters lives over there, Johnny Geiger. So, I guess between all of that, that's where I would